Let's get Harry back in here. I don't know what happened there. Why did you go? Why did you go? All right. And I promised Harry Green. So here we go. Welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight at Monday Night Slotcar Live, where tonight we're going live with Harry from Scale Slotcars. Thanks for joining us, Harry.
Thank you, Dan.
I know, a little confusing, but the beginning part of that whole video is going to be chopped right off because the video I just showed you, the stop motion, will get me demonetized. So when I do it, when I load it into YouTube as a video,
Cut that bit out.
So for those of you who missed it, sorry. The show starts at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And from now on, I'm going to make sure there's something cool at the beginning so that people want to be here when it starts. So here we go. Harry, tell us about your inspiration for what you got going on at home with your 4-lane track. Fantastic, by the way.
Thank you, Dan. It goes back to the inspiration goes back to many years ago when I was in my early 20s, and I was in a club in Ireland, and we had some 4-lane racing tracks.
Oh, nice.
So that's my strongest memory of slot cars when we used to race mainly Scale Electrics and SCX cars and some Ninkos. So we'd 4-lane tracks, and I always dreamed of having a 4-lane track.
Oh, how nice, eh?
So it's just something that I've always wanted to do. And I was blessed in one way that my doctor said I couldn't ride motorcycles anymore. And so then suddenly I had some money after selling my bikes, and I had this empty garage. And sure, what else are you going to do? I said I need to get a hobby. So I got back into slot cars, built a track in the house, and then I started looking at the garage and thinking, wow, what a place for a slot car track.
Oh, for sure.
So, yeah. So I quite like the... What's that? Sorry, Dan?
And then you added the window?
Yeah, just look the window in. That's where the door used to be. And it's quite funny. The garage door was too small for a car or for my van. So it was logical to turn it into a slot car room and close in that door with a wall and a window. So it's turned out very well. For the price I was quoted for the concrete floor, I've actually had enough money to buy all my track, put in my own wooden floor, and do all the work myself for the same price that I would have paid just for a concrete floor. So
nice. Yeah. So let's talk layout. First off, why did you choose the layout that you did? What did you have in mind while you were designing it?
The most important factor for me was a long straight.
A long straight, yeah.
Speed. That was absolutely the most important thing, was to get as far as I can from one wall to the other and just have enough for people to walk past it, and that was it. So the long straight was very important. I would have liked to do a figure of 8 just to equalize the circuit for, making it close for racing, for everybody having the same distance. But it didn't make sense with a 4-lane track in the space I had.
Right.
So I did like Marty's track. And I actually asked Marty to send me a picture of his track to give me some ideas. I like Marty's 4-lane track. Marty Ford's track.
Yeah, he's got a nice stretch with a good sort of, you're able to really give it some legs,
Yeah, it's a lovely flowing track. So I wanted a track that would flow nicely. So this just came to me that there's enough bends to inside and outside bends. It actually flows quite well, and racers seem to be quite close to each other. Now that's family racers who are all absolute beginners.
Right.
And but I'm really enjoying it now. Some days I go out to do work on the track, and I just end up spending 3 hours just running cars around and forget about doing anything to the track.
This is my problem too, right? You're like, oh, the track. oh yeah, oh yeah. You totally go in with the intention of getting some work done, and suddenly it's like you're burning around trying to make the best lap. You know, car number
Yeah.
one goes, car number two goes, car number three goes. You know,
Oh, absolutely. That's exactly what happens to me. And then I'm thinking, oh, hold on, maybe I'll get a Formula One. So I'm back into the house, running upstairs to get a Formula One car, back out to the garage. It's but
oh my
it's
gosh,
great. It's great, and I mean the hobby is fantastic because it's like you've people who love doing scenery, you've people who love racing, you've people who just love the cars, the quality of the scale, details,
yeah.
and you've the different sizes. There's so many options, from HO right up to 124, 125. Everything is there.
Oh, it's amazing that like Slotcar really, there's a lot to choose from these days when you're thinking about Slotcar, So much
Yeah,
scale. What are you looking for? Are you looking for like HO scale? Or are you looking for like 132, or are you looking for 124? That kind of thing. So Slot, it's almost endless when you think about it. A few
yeah.
more people have come in. Bryce, thanks for joining us, brother. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, yeah. Some people in various places got to see it ahead of time. I had Harry's DS3 video today to assist me in setting my second driver station. Happy to say I have a racetrack now, not a time trial layout. Thanks, Harry. Bam. So there you are,
Oh, cool.
making a difference,
That's
brother.
great.
Yeah.
I'm glad I could help. I'm glad I could help, and I'm happy if anyone gets any sort of inspiration from my videos. It's a great feeling. Guys, I'm not so quick at catching the chat, so I just want to say hello to everyone and thank you for watching myself and Dan tonight. And I'd love to be able to type and say hello, but I'm too much of a dinosaur. I have to concentrate on the actual film
No, I'll make
video.
sure all the important stuff comes up on the screen. If there's a question for you, we'll throw it out there. If you have something to say, it's go time.
Yeah, cool, cool.
And here we go. Slot Car 2001. Good evening, all. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining us tonight. Oh, check this guy out. Yeah. Robert's in the house. Thanks for joining us, Robert. I appreciate it, brother. And make sure to catch me and Robert. We'll be doing the last edition of the Fish Tank with Robert and I. And from there on, it'll become the HO News Weekly. So and that'll strictly be well, not strictly, but 95% HO. And that will be the last fish tank, and then, like I said, it'll change to the HO News Report or HO News something or other. So yeah, so be looking for that. That'll be this week. We'll be talking about the Badman and a few other Auto World stuff, some new stuff from AFX. So make sure you guys tune into that. All right, so oh, Alan Taylor's in the house. Thank you, John. I appreciate it, Alan. Thanks, brother. Okay. So let's talk about the materials you're using to build out your track, Harry.
Okay, MDF is. I can't find MDF. Would you believe in Latvia? I can only find OSB. I
Oh,
wanted to go MDF for stronger wood. I
yeah.
went to the shops and asked for MDF. They literally don't know what it is. Believe it or not, they actually don't know what it is.
It's not
So
even an option. That's
no, they absolutely don't have MDF. It's crazy. I've two local hardwares. I went into another bigger hardware 80 kilometers away. They
yeah.
don't even know what MDF wood is. It's
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
So I used 8 mil OSB board for the base,
Oh yes.
and the grass on the track is just this artificial grass you can buy. What I'm doing with the grass is I don't like just some people just lay the grass down and they put the track on top of it. I don't like to do that. I like to cut my grass to fit against the track. It's more realistic looking, but it's a
Yeah.
lot more work.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
it's actually, but it is. But I love to do it that way. And of course, my hills are polystyrene
Hmm.
and with also and finished with expanding foam. I'm painted with acrylic paints and latex paints. Now I have to say I got all that information of how to start. I'd never done scenery ever before,
Right.
and I went onto Boone's channel, Boone's
Boone. Yeah.
Slotcar Garage, and that's where I learned how to start to doing all this stuff. And then I sort of went off in my own direction and changed a few things to suit what I done. But definitely Boone was my inspiration for scenery.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he does a lot of great scenery style stuff.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you're looking, like just about if they're a larger channel, there's probably something on their channel, on everybody's channel, for something you're looking for, that kind of thing.
yeah.
So you know,
Yeah, you go through the backlog and you're bound to find something that might help you out with doing your track.
right.
But it's
So
funny, the local hardware store think I'm mad because I go in for stuff, I go in for polystyrene and they say, what size is the wall you want it for? And I'm like, no, no, no. And at the same, everything I want to buy, they just don't get it. I'm buying stuff for a slot car track and they're asking me, like, what am I building? I'm just like, no, I'm not even going to try and explain to them.
oh my gosh,
So,
eh? It's like every time you mention slot cars, somebody's like, "What's that?"
yeah. Oh, definitely. And here in Latvia, they just don't do slot cars. Now I say that, but they do these. These crazy fast cars. What are they, like, brushless cars?
Oh, what do they call those? They're like wings, little wing
Yeah,
cars,
they're like the wing cars. They have Lexan bodies. Now the bodies are very boring. They're not detailed. They're all the same. The chassis are very high spec chassis. I see one recently for sale for €250 just for the chassis. You know,
right?
but they do race them in a couple of places in Latvia on wood tracks that are sponsored by colleges, and
Right.
then they get sponsorship from the government. This track is built by a guy who builds very high quality tracks here in Latvia. But it's just not what I'm into. I'm not into these wing cars. I'm into scale. I want them to look like a car, you
Look like
know?
a car, right? That's my problem with
Yeah,
these ones. They don't look like cars at all.
no, they don't.
So
And the speed of them doesn't appeal to me.
it's too much. That's not
Yeah,
fun. That doesn't seem
yeah.
fun. So it does appear you're one sub up. Dennis Osborne has subbed to you, brother.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Dennis.
Thanks,
Cheers.
thanks, Dennis. We appreciate it. Very cool. Oh, looks like Anthony's in the house. Anthony Bateman. Thanks for joining us, brother. I appreciate it. Welcome. Hope the track's coming along nicely.
Yeah, Anthony's a great guy. I love watching Anthony's.
Yeah,
Anthony would go on. He might show us a few guys, but he'd have a good old chat for an hour about
yeah.
everything.
Like it. Hear the scanner going on in the background. Very cool.
Oh
Very
yeah, that was an
yeah.
old hobby of mine. I used to
Right.
listen to the police on the scanner. Yeah,
Yeah, my brother had a ham operator's license, so we had this little mini tower in the backyard for a while, and he had like
yeah.
scanners going from around the world. Very cool. Very
I,
cool.
I'm a ham operator as well. This used to be my amateur radio room. I had all my radios in this room here that I'm sitting in now.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool. Other hobbies, hey?
Yeah, but I don't do it anymore. I just slot cars now is my only thing, and I
Yeah,
absolutely love it.
very
I
cool.
absolutely love it. I
Very
was
cool.
just looking at a comment from HSF Racing. He was saying that I look like that guy, one of the guys out of the English band, the Beat, and that was
Oh,
one of the bands. That was one of the bands I liked from years ago. So
yeah.
yeah. I used to ride scooters. I used to ride Vespas and Lambrettas, so I was into all that scene of ska music and stuff like Madness and all that stuff. So that's hence the hats. I've been wearing these hats for years and years.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you need to ride one of those little hogs, just like on the video there of Harry and Lloyd and Harry dumbing
Oh
down.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
oh, for sure. Um, whoa, that jumped fast. Where are we? All right. Yeah. So you're also using plaster as well, correct? You're using what,
Yeah,
a drywall compound,
yeah, it's pre-mixed. So when you buy it, it's already mixed, and it's very easy. I just use a brush, a painter's brush, and I just brush it on. And you don't go too. If you go too thick with it, it'll crack very easily. So you brush it on a couple of millimeters.
right?
Usually, I get away with a couple of millimeters. I don't need any more than that. But if you wanted to go back, you could go back and put a second coat on it. And it's cheap. It's like €8 for 5 kilogram bucket, which
Yeah,
would do a couple of hills. The hills I do, that'll be enough for one or two of those hills.
right.
And it's a very simple process, and it gives the polystyrene, it converts everything and starts making it look so much more realistic.
Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree.
Mhm.
Slotcar Hub's in the house. Good morning, Slotcar Hub, Australia. So morning
Hey
there,
Shane.
midnight for you, Harry. Woo! We got a good crowd in the house tonight from everywhere.
No
Awesome.
drama. What's a millimeter?
What's a millimeter? Yeah, right. Got to put a few of those together in order to get near the inches.
Oh, I can't. It's funny because in Ireland, when I was young, we learned feet and inches, and then of course Europe came along with millimeters, and I actually I go down to the shop sometime and I'm buying wood, and I'm looking for 4 foot by 120 centimeters, and they're completely confused because I'm mixing inches and metric and imperial, and I drive them crazy. What
That's
what what do
hilarious.
you use? What do you use in Canada, Dan?
Well, here, I guess while we're here, I'll show my track. I'll put my track up, and we'll
Hmm.
talk about it quickly. Okay,
Cool.
so this is what I've been working on lately. The part on the right is the removable spot that I have because I can't reach my back wall. So I can put this over a hole in my track and you can't even see it. So, what we're talking about here right now is the section on the left. That's what I just finished doing. I used a high density insulation board. I think it was like an inch and a half thick. And then what I did was I stacked it for height, and then I whittled it away with what did I use this time? I used something different this time. Um, oh, I went with Harry's idea, and thank you very much, Harry. And everybody, always remember when you're using a hacksaw blade, the blade's teeth face forward. Thank you, Harry. I appreciate that, brother. I'm
Okay.
absolutely. Let's see this. I'm absolutely certain that almost nobody knew that. Some
I
people
learned that
are.
from my metalwork teacher in school when I was 14 years old.
Right. So what we have here, fantastic, by the way, brother. And I heard people comment about this already to you and say, had no idea. Thank you, bro, kind of thing. Well, thank you, because
Yeah.
there's nothing sillier than using a tool the wrong way, especially when you're handy with tools. Like, really?
Yeah.
But it makes sense because your power stroke is forward. So you want
Yes,
the teeth
exactly.
facing
Yeah,
forward.
I'm sure there was lots of people at home after watching holding up their hacksaw blades, going, "Oh yeah."
I look, I look. Mine was on the right way, but purely fluke, bro. Purely fluke.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
fluked it
yeah.
off. Yeah, because I had no idea. If I had to go check, that means I didn't know.
Hmm.
So yeah, very cool, man. So what we got here is, of course, I did the foam. I put it down. Then I used the hacksaw. And then once I had the shape real roughed out with the hacksaw, that's when I got in it with the drywall compound. I have this small pail. I think it's like a 4 liter pail. And I literally just scooped it out with my hands and just sort of smeared it all over. Now,
Uh,
I'm not building any height characteristic with the compound. All we're using the compound for is to shape to the next level and to smooth out the roughness. So I believe
okay.
Harry's probably using it for the same reason because the problem with the drywall compound is if you put too much on too thick, it just cracks
Absolutely.
when
Yeah.
it's drying. So the best way to do it is just use it to fill small cracks, to add contouring, and to fill roughness. And it worked absolutely perfect because it fills the the like the styrene that Harry uses, and the high density foam board that I used. And this is my first time actually using the foam board. I did it because I watched Harry's videos. For myself, my HO track is plaster cast with the strips and chicken wire, chicken lath that I covered in the
Yeah,
strips. So it's very tedious to do it that way and kind of expensive. So,
yeah,
uh, but I mean, that's another way, whatever works for you. For me, I feel like me and Harry have the same creative idea where we're very hands on and just want to get it done to our vision. And that's what ends up turning out. So I put the trees up already. I will be adding color to the trees. They look very green and vibrant right now. If you're here, they definitely look plastic and fake. But what I'm going to do is add color variation just by adding some paint to them, so they'll look a little better. And then, of course, what I've done, all the grass is not a mat. It's all sprinkle grass, static grass, that's glued down. I really like the look of it. You can see the bottles in the on the left there, right in the very middle. They're both empty. So I managed to get that area done. Now the only thing that's left to do in that area is the signage. I haven't thought of any buildings yet. I want to get the landscaping down and then put stuff on it. And soon, um, the pit garages with the lights and the automatic opening doors from Show Me Slot Cars. Pete, he'll be making them and selling them. I have two coming, so I'll have an 4-car garage, and we'll be talking a little bit about that too. But that's in the very near future.
yeah.
So,
I've seen those. They're fantastic. The way the door is electrically open, so it's amazing.
hey, oh boy, when he first
Yeah,
showed me them, I was like, oh my gosh, that is so amazing. Like
yeah.
crazy
Excellent,
amazing.
excellent.
Great idea though. I mean, um, how far do you want to go? There's lots you could do, right? If you could do that, you could do a whole heck of a lot more. And I know he's always spooling. He's one of those people that's always thinking of the next best thing, right? So,
Yeah. On my particular track, I'm doing some scenery and I'm going to do some billboards, but I'm not doing any buildings because I vary so much between 143 cars, 132, 124. So I want the track to look realistic to the car. So I'm getting trees that will match all scale of cars.
yes,
So, but if you have a 132 track, the amount of stuff available is just amazing
huge,
now. Yeah.
huge. Yeah, there's an awful lot of stuff. Just even searching through eBay, I do it every once in a while, and well, I mean, for buildings, I do it once in a while. For cars, I actually search probably about 15 pages back in HO slot cars every day, and large scale. I also flip through the 132s. I haven't got into the 124s yet. That doesn't mean I'm not going to, but you got to start
Yeah.
somewhere. And I'm working on Carrera and Revo slot right now. So I
Yeah.
think I can handle that. And as I learn more, I have premium cars of the other ones, of course, NSR and that kind of thing. That's the slotted, the Mr. Slot car
You got
stuff.
to try some BRMs when you can, Dan. You got
Right.
to try a few BR. Oh, they're fantastic.
I
They're
think I
wonderful.
want to buy two so that I'll be able
Yeah.
to race
Yeah.
them, right?
They're like basically they're like Revo slots on steroids.
Oh, no way. Nice. I
they're fa-
should.
they're fabulous. They're
I have the
absolute. I
track
love them.
totally laid out for that too. So sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
But
Chris, thanks
they
for
are
that, brother.
they're expensive.
They are, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's sort of a limiting factor for me. Like I already got my hands stuck in two bags, the HO bag and the large scale bag. So
Yes.
the
Mm.
124, I cringe because they really look nice, and I know the scale is more proper. Um,
Yeah.
and they look really good. Like they're just they just seem to be built, and like the BRM, I know it's like the little larger scale Revo, and it makes
Mm.
sense because like look at them, they're
But
both fairly
the
awesome.
BRM are fantastic. But I have to say, they're expensive. I'm starting to get some Carrera 124 cars now, and they're about €15 more expensive than a 132. So it makes no sense not to buy them. I mean, they're fully digital. They're fabulous. They're huge. They're bigger because of the actual DTM cars, the GT3 cars with all these body kits and everything.
Yeah,
So these cars are really wide and they're fantastic. I love them. So I've got into them now at the moment. So the Revo slots have sort of a little bit taken a back seat.
yeah, yeah.
Or sorry, not the Revo slot. Sorry, not the Revo slot. The BRM have
The
taken a
BRM,
little bit of a back seat now. Yeah.
right, right. Well, you gotta taste a few different cups, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm getting to a few 143rd cars as well now. So
yeah, and oh man, they're really hitting it out of the park with some of those too lately.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
143, they're getting really. You see, I really think that Carrera is really seeing a market for these 143s, especially when all the large scale channels, are all buying them and reviewing them, running them on the track, and they all look totally
yeah,
great. They all look good.
yeah, yeah.
They do a really
Do you
good
know
job.
who could be? Do you know who inspired me to go for the 143 cars? It was actually Steve from BS Slot Cars.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And I seen those guys. They race any car, you know what I mean. And I seen them racing the 143rd, and I thought, oh, I'd like to give that a go. So I started getting a few 143rd cars, and they're really enjoyable, and they're great for beginners,
yeah.
and they're very reasonable. They're reasonably priced. So if you have a wreck, it's not a problem.
That's right. Yeah, no worries. They're made for kids, so they're a little sturdier, right? So this
Definitely,
is
yeah,
Harry. Sorry, this is Anthony. He says your track came out awesome, Harry. He says he loves the
thank you.
camaraderie around your track. Everyone having fun.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Anthony. Yeah, I had a great time with the family. Unfortunately, they're only here for a holiday for 2 weeks, so they're all gone back. They live in Germany and Italy, so I'm back on my own now. So I really have to try and find locals now, unfortunately. But when they were here, they loved it. And the thing was, every person you saw there, out of them people, 4 people had never ever raced a slot car in their whole life of the girls,
Oh
and
wow.
they done fantastic. They'd never even heard of slot cars.
It looked like everybody was having like genuine fun, brother. Like that's what I
It was
noticed.
great.
That's why I
Yeah,
watch. Always try and watch 100% of a creator's video all the time. You know what I mean? Because it really helps the creator
yeah,
out, and but it's
yeah. I do
fantastic,
that as
Gary. And
well.
that it was very like intriguing. That first off, it was really cool to see you finally getting your use out of your 4 lane track. The way it was meant to
Yeah,
be, for people
mm,
all having fun and enjoying themselves. That's what keeps people interested. I bet that video for you has a high retention and watch value. I'll bet you have a high percentage watch value on that video. It's really good.
yeah, yeah, and of course the little bit of glamour as well. I find if you get a woman into a video, it always does better.
Right? Especially when it's just a bunch of guys sitting around playing Slotcars, right?
Yeah. So definitely no, it's doing well that video. So I just I get some more people. I just need to try and get some more people to come along. I'm sure I will.
Right. Oh, here we go. This is actually seen Anthony open a few of these. Yeah, the 124s are awesome. They look really good. Very, very good.
Yeah,
Slotcar 2001. Crazy how affordable HO is compared to 132nd. Well, um, this car cost me 85. This car cost me 75. Well, 72.40. So it's really, it really depends on what your taste is for slot cars. Like seriously, It's a video that I'm about to put out. I've been working on it for a little while now. I want to make sure that it's legit and people are going to understand what I'm saying. But the base of the video is slot cars, whether it be HO or large scale, which one is right for you. And I have two totally finished tables, and I can demonstrate both at the same time in the same video with different cars and explain the ups and downs of each set. Like for one, HO moves really fast. So if you're a person that enjoys the drive, you're probably going to want to go with something like this. Although, of course, these are fast too. But HO is a different scale of fastness. It's small and fast instead of big and fast. It's different. So that's kind of the thing. Yeah, 124 is crazy money. I wish, like I said, at some point I will get myself into that. What happened to that? There we go. Did I just highlight there? So at least that's there we go. Bryce got you there, Harry. Just subbed your channel, Harry. Look forward to your content.
That's fantastic. Thank you very much, Bryce.
No sleeping now, brother. Got the weight of the world on your shoulders now. Yeah.
I noticed one of the guys, I can't remember there back, was also saying about the temperatures, the way we use centigrade here, and I think
Oh yeah.
in the States it's Fahrenheit, and it's,
Here's XCX 143. Have you tried any of these, Harry? Compact?
yeah, I have where have I got? Let me think. I somewhere have a that's an SCX there, the Formula One.
Oh, that is nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I have one of those. I just bought one just to test them out and see if I like them, and I do like them. So I've one SCX Formula One, and I have another. The SCX are nice, and they have the proper. I don't know if you can see that they have the proper guide blades on them.
Yeah.
You know.
So does
So
anybody in the comments have the SCX compact cars? And if you do, which ones are they? Yeah, they look great, man. They look really good. What do we got? Robert Fish, here we go, brother. 2000. Oh, sadly, we need each. Yeah, to be more affordable in Canada. That's what I was just saying. Yeah, these cars are not worth the money suppliers are demanding for them. That is a true statement. That is a
yeah.
true statement.
I mean, I found the AFX, the HO AFX cars are they're around €50 here in Europe, and I mean you get one of those for €50, a Carrera 132 scale for the same price. So it doesn't
Right.
make any sense for me. It doesn't make any. No, okay, there's guys who are crazy into HO, and that's they're part of the hobby,
Yeah.
But
So I told you I'd be sending you a couple cars so you can drive it on your track and check it out. Check it
yeah,
out, yo! Woo! All right. So I'll be sending Harry this one, GT40, beautiful car, and I'll
oh
also be
yeah,
sending him this one,
very nice.
the brand new AFX F1. I'll be supplying him with
Okay,
some braided shoes that he can just switch on or out himself, and he'll be able to try the HO experience on his Carrera track. I know it works already.
okay. Thank you, Dan. I'll definitely try those. And how did they slot into the track? I remember looking at Steve from
Yeah,
BS Slotcars he put some piping, some straw
WD.
onto them.
Steve uses a WD-40
Straw.
nozzle
Yeah,
or straw. So if you
yeah,
have that,
that's
perfect.
right.
Or you're a handy guy. You just need that sort of thing. You just need to be able to put something on the pin just to make it a little
Yeah,
bit fatter. It'll run right now on the track, no problem, but it bounces around a little bit because, of course, a small pin and a big gap, and
Yeah,
that's
it's moving around. Yeah.
and it'll run backwards. It'll run in reverse, so you'll be racing the car in the opposite direction.
Okay. No, I do that quite often with my Carreras by flipping the switch underneath, and I can run both ways, which is great
Oh,
fun.
cool! Very
So,
cool. So yeah, I'll be sending those out right away.
thank you, Dan. I'll be sending you a few stickers as soon as I get your address.
And here's just a little. I know most people don't care, but some people will. See the number on that car, guys? Yeah, number 90. And it doesn't mean much to most people, like I said, but to some people, that 90 is a big deal. All right.
Okay.
So yeah, I can't wait for you to give her a shot, Harry. It should be pretty cool, brother.
I'll
Um,
appreciate. Yeah, I appreciate
Definitely
that,
a
Dan.
different
Thank you
slot
very
car
much.
experience, right?
Sorry.
It's definitely a different slot car experience, and gives you
I
an
reckon
opportunity.
so. Yeah. I mean, at the moment when I run the 143 scale cars, that they absolutely fly, and with the magnets in them, they're fairly glued, but they're actually good fun. It's something different, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I just paid $71 with tax for the brand new black GT 500. So
Mm,
$71 is what I pay at my local hobby shop.
they're not cheap.
Yeah, they're very expensive here, and in some cases, that $70 might have a customs fee attached to it as well, too. So
Yeah. Yeah, it's that's the trouble here in Latvia. The customs want their 21% on everything,
right.
and then you agency fee as well. So you know, something that's €50 might turn out to be nearly €70 by the time you're finished paying all the fees.
And it literally feels like someone's always standing there with their hand out, man.
Oh, it's a
Crazy.
pain. Yeah, it's an
Crazy.
absolute pain. Yeah.
Well, Blue Oval's in the house. Thanks for joining us, brother. Hey, you ever gonna send me your address so I can send you your free gift or no? It'd be like one of those days I have to do a giveaway of giveaways that weren't collected. Yeah, here we go. Most common HO cars are about 60 to 70 loonies. Yeah, yeah, for sure. All right. Yeah, it sure is crazy money. Yeah, it's very, very expensive. When I first started reviewing cars, I was paying just under $50 was the average price. So remember, if you ever want to know the average price of the slot car that you're buying, just go on Google and ask AI. Just say, what's the average price of the Carrera, Porsche, blah, blah, blah. And that crafty little person will definitely give you the median price for it. I do it with AFX all the time. You should be paying $56 for an AFX car. Just saying. At least that's what IA tells me. AI. IA. AI.
If that 50, if that's 56 Canadian dollars, yeah,
Sorry?
56 Canada dollars, yeah.
56 Canadian dollars, yeah.
Okay, okay, yeah.
Which is like
Hmm.
$42 American or something.
Yeah. I
And
was just trying to figure out that, yeah,
the
in
euro is
euros, yeah,
in dollar too, so you
yeah.
get more euros. What do we got here? I have 5 analog, 132 cars, cheaper than the Hertz Mustang. Yeah, I don't know. It's really, like we could talk about HO and the things that are happening or not happening. It's either going to be a short conversation or a long conversation. But remember to join me and Robert for the last fish tank for sure. where we're gonna have a really good run at our last show. And like I said, the name will be changing to HO Slotcar Weekly. So um, that's where it'll be. And we'll be reviewing and looking basically strictly HO, except for the side issue of anything spectacular going on in the large scale world, I guess. There you go. Boom. Awesome. PNW is in the house. Thanks for joining us, brother. Welcome. All right. Okie dokie. Okay. And yeah, what's this? In the UK, we get AFX for whoa, way cheaper than I get it for.
That's
Damn.
cheap. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
cheap.
that's good pricing right there. Shikes. Oh, Anthony had the Corvette. Yeah. Let's see. Polycars. Do you have any polycars, Harry? Yeah, you do, right?
Yeah, I am. Hold on, I'll just grab this. That's just one of them.
Oh, let me move this. Yeah, that's nice. It's a nice looking car.
The poly cars here in Europe, where I get them, they're €27 each, and they're absolutely fantastic. They are great. They're they're really what I think a lot of cars should be priced at. I mean, I don't know how some of the companies can justify 56 quid for their cars when Polycar could do this for €27, and they've got really good components. They've lovely quality.
Yeah.
I love them. We were using those for the when we had the ladies race, and they take loads of punishments and they just come back for more. Fantastic cars, absolutely.
Slot Car League of Champions is in the house. Thanks for joining us, brother. Beer time. As long as it's ice cold, because darn, it is hot today. Woo! Has been for a week now. Going strong. It's beer o'clock all the time, I think. I don't drink, mind you, but yeah, if that's what you do, that's what you do. I like my Dr. Pepper. I like my Dr. Pepper. All right. Yeah, in the
And
HO community, a lot of vendors are charging premium prices for whatever cars they want to. Expect us to just go along with it. That's a good statement. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is. Back to work. Thanks,
but
brother.
would
See you
would
later. Back to
you'd
work.
wonder how the companies can justify some of their stuff. I mean, there's a no, that's a Scale Electrics, the budget Scale Electrics car. That's €25. That's €2 more expensive for the poly car. And if you look, the windscreen it's black plastic. There's no windscreen. There's no details. The front end is
Yeah.
completely better looking. Even the back end,
Oh
like
man.
the back end is a huge difference in quality,
Yeah.
you know. And the interior with the drivers, you have lights on the front of these poly cars. Like that's substandard compared to this. And if companies can put these out at that price, I can't wait to see what Polycar might start throwing out in a couple of years at a really good budget price. If they
Right.
can do this for 27, they can do wonders. In the next year or two, maybe they bring out a selection of different types of cars. Very impressed with those.
Yeah, they look. They're doing a good job with them. It's the kind
Mm.
of thing we need. A few companies doing things like that, bringing some cars to the market, and then working on them as they're going along. You know.
Yeah, and for me running analog, I don't run digital, as you know, Dan.
Right.
For me running analog, of course, when I buy Carrera cars, I can just go to the analog version, which is maybe 15-20 euro cheaper than the digital
Hmm.
version. So it's a saving.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just. It's. Um. What was I gonna say? Right. Okay. So if we show any interest in something, up goes the price. That's a good statement because it certainly feels that way sometimes. I don't know if it actually is, but it feels that way. Um, it's pretty pricey already. You really have to pick your poison because I don't know how you guys like to dip into things, but for me, I got both my hands in the cookie jar right now, the HO and the large scale. It's fun to be able to pick which one I want to race. I've been doing a lot of racing lately on the Carrera track just because I've been building it out and it's something new. But HO is always right there. So actually, it's that way. So and it's always fun. So you really can't go wrong with that. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So we got. For 60 or 80, you can buy full function RC HO scale RC car. Consider all extra components in the yeah. Well, it's literally you could do that, and this is the case where if you wanted to, you could literally put a pin on the car and just drive the car around the slotted track. That way, you'd be able to change lanes if you wanted to, just by turning the steering wheel. Oh my gosh. But at some point, it no longer becomes a slot car anymore. And maybe the question tonight is at what point is a slot car no longer a slot car? It's a good question. That's one I was thinking about. So, what's the basics of a slot car? Are we talking about a slotted track, I guess? That would be the basics. What do you think, Harry?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's like I know Carrera are bringing out this hybrid system. For me, it doesn't rock at all, you know. But it's like not making your mind up. Do you want a radio control car or do you want a slot car? You know, and so that's my personal opinion. I wouldn't go for them. Um, and because I'm a dinosaur with anything computerized, or anything, I just don't see the controlling them with your telephone and everything. Not for me. But
Right.
so slot car, yeah, definitely. And for me, it's a competitive nature. It's great fun just having four cars. They don't need to be glued to the track with magnets. They can be sliding around. A View four car. One thing that drives me crazy. You've people saying, you know, oh, Sky Electric's minis are not good, and then you can't race them against such and such a car. But if you get four of the very same car, all on standard wheels, out of the box, put them together, it's just as much fun racing as four of the most expensive 132 slot cars. Once you have four cars that are the same, well, then it comes down to the driver.
Right. There's no advantage in the car. It's all
Yeah,
about driving. And here's
yeah,
here Daniel has this comment. I bet you remove the magnet in the poly car. It'll still run as good as with the magnet in. Throw some tungsten putty in the magnet place. There you go. That sounds like the right
yeah.
idea.
They do. They run very well, even without the magnets in them.
DK Moon's
That's
here.
something.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you being here. Thank you.
That's something I'm doing at the moment, Dan. I'm messing about with the 124 cars, and I'm running them around, taking the magnets out. There's two magnets in the as you know in the Carrera cars, so I'm trying them with the magnets removed.
Right.
And this particular one has Paul gauge tires fitted. It's the first time I've ever bought a set of Paul gauge tires. I've always stuck with the standard tires, but I wanted to experiment, and I have to say they do make a difference. They do make a difference in the timing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
and it's an affordable way to outfit your car
yeah,
in the
yeah.
car.
Just take out your magnets, stick as Paul gauge tires on it, rough, give them a little sanding,
Yeah.
and I'm running my 124 cars on the original power supply, which is the 14.8 volt Carrera power
14.8.
supply,
Yeah.
and they're actually good fun.
You
They'd
finding
slide
that
around.
good?
There's enough to de-slot, but they're slow enough that you can get lovely drifting around the corners and everything. So
All
at the
right.
moment, I'm not pushed to buy a higher spec. Just to compare them, there's the BRM 124 car. Yeah,
Yeah. Nice looking
that's the
car.
BMW, the 2002 BMW, and
Woo.
that's the
Oh boy.
that's the BMW from. So the Carrera cars are huge. You know,
Yeah.
there's a huge difference in
Oh
them.
my gosh, eh?
You know, so this you know. So, and they're very good value for money. They're absolutely great value for money. So, if you want to get into 124, I'd recommend try these first and see what you think of them before jumping in with the expensive BRMs.
Yeah, so Doug, the answer to the oh, excuse me. Oh. Doug's answer to the question of when does a slot car no longer become a slot car? When the car does, I believe it's supposed to say doesn't sit in the slot. Oh, he's corrected it down here. So doesn't sit in the slot, right? So yeah, that's probably it would definitely a slot car would have to have a slot. So I think we can pretty much all agree with that. That's pretty much where it
Yeah,
all
I see.
starts, I guess.
And I see no drama saying I like the car better than the speed, and that's what I love the model of the car, the style of it. I don't need out and out crazy speed. I'm even the same in real life. I'm probably Captain Slow in the whole town. I just you know I'm one of those people that annoys everyone else doing 80 when it's a 90 km/h zone. So I'm happy. I don't need crazy speeds. So my 124 cars are 40.8 volts, are enough to have fun. Four of them together racing each other at the moment. I don't need 18 volts at the moment.
Oh my gosh, eh? Man, that would make a um evolution car scream, man. Woo! All right. Yeah. Uh see DK Moon. Hi everyone. I've been here for a little while, but was eating so I was quiet. Awesome. Well, you're well filled up and hopefully entertained. Harry's quite a character. Gotta keep him in control here. He's out of control every once in a while.
Yeah, League of Champions was saying I'm a video coming up soon where I'm doing a bit of my photography with my SLR cameras, and I'm photographing cars at speed with the blurred background, like I do with motorsport in real life.
Oh
And
yes.
but the 124 cars are great for it because they're a bigger size. Like I photographed some of my 143 cars as well, but you got to get it. They're really quick. You got to get your focus perfect and everything. So that's what I have a video coming out about that now, sometime probably next week. But I agree. The 124 cars are great for photographing, especially moving photographs, like panning the camera as the car goes by.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. A lot of detail too.
Oh, fantastic!
Here's
Yeah.
great. BRM should be run at 12 to 14.
Yeah, yeah. I run the BRMs. I run my BRMs on my car power supply, which is 14.8,
Yeah.
and they could probably do with being wound down a little bit, maybe not so high.
Yeah.
Same with the Pioneer Legends. Pioneer Legends would run more happily on 12 volts. You get now. I love the wheel spin coming out corners on 14.8. For me, I love that drifting out of the corners. But you're probably doing a lot of spinning of the tires where you're not getting optimum grip.
Right. It's just breaking loose all the time.
Yeah, I love it.
Well, when you have a nice, comfortable track, like it's large, that kind of thing, like what you have going on there, that's perfect. You know what I mean? You got a lot of
Yeah.
nice, to do some drifting and a little more comfortability with the amount of room you have on your track. I really am glad that I decided to buy the Carrera track. I was thinking
Oh
about
yeah.
buying the Scale Auto track, the newer one that just came out that they just produced, but the Carrera, the 124, that kind of thing, and especially when you come from HO where the cars on the track are literally scraping against each other. That's how close they are. There's no room between the lanes. And when you race on a Carrera track, 132 cars, there's got to be like at least an inch between the two cars in the middle. So and if you're driving the 510s, well, then it's like 2 inches. And if you have the 510s, you know what I mean. They're like your BRM there, Harry, the BMW, how it's really super small next to the
Yeah.
Carrera.
Next
Yeah.
to Carrera, yeah. But the Carrera track is great. That's why I studied before I went and bought my track. I got back into the hobby last or November. Last November I got back into the hobby. And I had a look at different types of track. And Carrera, you could run everything on it. It was good for everything. I know it's bigger, but it means I have a huge choice of cars I can run.
Right.
So the only thing I haven't run yet is the HO cars, but you're going to sort me out for that, Dan. So I'll be testing them.
Yeah, well, it'll be something interesting for sure, something different.
Hmm. Yeah,
I say, like,
absolutely.
even if you try it, try it once, you've tried it, you know what everyone's talking about. You said you've been watching Steve at BS Slotcars, raced
Yeah,
the HOs
yeah,
on there. I've raced them on my channel. And,
yeah.
like me and
I,
Steve,
uh,
we push a little bit to
I
get people to try this, right?
yeah, and I also sometimes he'd be on quite late as well. But Adam Hurt, I go on watch him. He's racing a lot of the HO cars on this track,
Yeah. Yeah, he's
so I
got a
enjoy
really
watching.
decent setup for his slot car room. Really
Hmm.
nice. Good track
Yeah,
setup too as
fabulous.
well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, here we go.
Timothy was asking, can you run 143 scale on the Carrera 132 track? Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. And they're great fun. Plenty of room for having wrecks, and they're great. They really are. So absolutely, you can.
What do we got? Dan is talking about the current trend in HO cars bodies so wide they scrape each other. Yeah, if they're side by side. And I did a video about the uncomfortableness about how close they are. They actually, when I try and push them past each other on the track, it ends up pushing the other car forward. So it's obviously hitting it. Um, I don't know. I don't, for myself, I have a 4 lane track. So the most time me and Irene were just running the inside 2 lanes. Um, so we don't really come across that problem too much. But lately, I've been running it with the guide braid on the bottom of the AFX shoes. And holy, if you're a drag racer racing HO, try putting the braid on the bottom of your dragster's guide shoes. I guarantee you're going to notice a difference in speed right away. Right away. Makes a huge difference. And it's just something that Aurora started in the 60s, but I imagine it became a little too complex and they stopped doing it. So it actually came with the Super 2s um, back when. So hook, line, and sinker for a Carrera, best choice I made. Don't care that it may be hard to get a hold of, more expensive. I absolutely agree with all of that. Yeah.
Hmm.
A little bit more expensive. I feel like I'm paying for what I get. I don't feel like I'm being ripped off. It's like I always say, if you don't feel like you're being ripped off and you've just got a quality product that works good, then you're happy. You're good. Golden, you know. And then you
Yeah,
find out
Carrera stuff is great.
it is, and it's absolutely the right choice for anybody. For me, it was my first dive into large scale. It's the one I was told to get, the one I really enjoyed playing with, and I'm glad that Raul from Conquest Racing Club got me into it. That was definitely the right choice. So I would suggest anybody who's because it's it's just literally it's the ease of having everything. You can do your 143, you can do your 132, you can do your 124, and like Harry will, I'm sure, at some point make a video, be able to do your HO cars as well with very little modification. So, and if you watch Steve's channel, he runs them with on a poly car track, I believe it is. So it has a lot of grip to it. Looks like my nephew just got here. My
Yeah, we heard the doorbell. We heard the doorbell going and the dog barking.
Is that what that noise was? Oh, didn't even notice.
I don't know. Was it a ding dong? I was like,
Did it sound like that?
something. Yeah, but much quieter. Yeah, from a distance. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Timothy was
So
saying he'd be into collecting the 140 third scale because they're a lot cheaper. I got to say I have a choice of you've the Carrera 140 third scale, the Carrera Go, and you have the SCX Compact. They're both really good. SCX really nice, but they're 18 or 19 euro per car. I mean, really good price. If you wanted to build a track system just using the 140 third, you could build a pretty amazing track system at a
right.
very good price.
Yeah, Bryce. The answer to your question is I own the axle box. It is right there. And Alex actually was nice enough to send me one of his first sets of call buttons. So you can see the call button right there. And there's also one on the other side as well. Only two of them, though. You know, there's only room for four people to stand here. So uh, it'll be like musical chairs, First person to stomp the button wins. And these buttons take an ass kicking too. I mean, butt kicking. So, and it works great. So, if you're looking for something as such, go see Alex at Axlebox. He's on Facebook. Great guy. Great product. Woo. Price is right. And I really enjoy that because it makes sense. Yeah, I would absolutely suggest you do that. Go see Alex at Axlebox. Like I said, let him know I sent you. Of course, that he's not going to give you a discount or anything, but we're Canadian, so we like to help each other out. Push people our way, push people their way. So yeah, I would definitely get one though. I really enjoy running my premium cars, and of course, this makes it easier. Before, I would just switch the power pads in and out. And if you want to have a full layout, that's permanent. You can't do that. So I want to thank Dan from Three Bean Raceway. Absolutely fantastic. He donated it to the channel. So to Dan, I want to thank you very much, brother. Never forget that. Thank you. Where are we here? So that's the answer to that, Bryce. I would definitely say do it if you have the money or are thinking about it. Absolutely fantastic product for sure. Yeah, a great Canadian product. I agree. I push Canadian stuff like crazy just because there's nobody else pushing Canadian stuff. When's the last time you heard a Canadian push something at you?
Here's Joe. Joe's just joined us. Joe will be pushing digital at us.
Yeah, no kidding, eh? What do we got? Right. Yeah, that's about it, Robert. Got into it a year ago. I was 60 cars. Right. No great
Yeah, I
story.
usually hope the courier arrives when my my wife isn't around.
Right. Yeah. No good story to your wife ever started with. So I bought another slot car. Just
Exactly, yeah.
what? Oh no, shoes, babe. I meant to say shoes. Hey, Joe's in the house. Herrera's Carrera. Thanks, brother. Welcome. Yeah, I would say just go with the basic unit for a 2 lane track, or I guess if you have a 4 lane. I have a 2 lane, so I'd just go with the basic unit and grab a couple of call buttons. Um, the best part about the call buttons that Alex has is what's going on with my picture here now? The best part about his is that the Carrera timer keeps going, and you don't have to wait through a countdown. And you could also get call buttons that will call out the pace car, which is kick ass. Come on now, what's going on here? There we go. So yeah,
I see Paul is asking how is Rahul doing after I was terrible, all his camera equipment getting stolen. Absolute disaster.
what digital
Yeah,
Dave?
a load of his camera equipment got stolen. I think it was something like 5 grand worth of equipment. I could be wrong, but I think it was something like that.
Oh, oh, looks like I better send. Wow, I never heard of that.
Oh yeah, yeah. He posted something about it. He said, I'm sure he said it was stolen, and I'm sure he said it was about 5,000 worth of equipment, camera equipment. Don't quote me on it, but the lads on the chat probably have will tell if I'm right or not.
5K, 5K worth.
Crazy. I hope he had insurance. I'm sure he did, but it's still, it's all your personal equipment that you've built up over the years, so it's never the same. Just getting it checked to replace it.
Yeah. Oh, it was at a car meet. Oh man, he's being paid to take pictures of high-end cars. So they stole his whole bag, and it sounds like they stole his whole bag. Raul doesn't have anything that's cheap, so you can be sure that if
Yeah,
they lifted a camera, it's probably like I don't know, a camera that I wouldn't buy. I got a million other things to spend money on, but wow, wow, that sucks.
it's so easy for someone to pick up a bag. I mean, for Pete, Pete's bag also got robbed. Pete from the UK, from Trackfads TV. He also lost a bag of with his laptop in it not too long ago. I think that was about 6 months ago or 5 months ago. So I'm very careful. I shoot. I do a bit of photography and I shoot some weddings and things, and I'm always very careful where I leave my bag. I'm always got one eye on the bag all the time.
So Raul got this gear stolen while he was in the UK
No, no, no. Pete,
recently. Recently.
Pete had
Oh
Pete
no,
lost his
I know
his
Pete.
computer.
Yeah, Pete lost. He actually, yeah, yeah. But when he
He's
ordered,
a
did you know
laptop.
what happened when he ordered the new one? I don't think it was out there. Um, when he ordered the new computer, it came and it was cat food in a box. So the box that he got wasn't his computer. It was somebody had played some sneaky maneuver somehow, and somehow he ended up
Really,
a box of not cat litter, a cat food. Cat food.
I didn't hear. I didn't hear about that.
I don't think too many people did actually, but I think that
Yeah.
was the end result. He ended up ordering a new one and got fluffied on it. So
Wow,
crappy.
unbelievable. There's nasty people out there. Absolutely.
Well, everyone wants to take advantage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is it. Opportunism, is and morals these days not so great. That's just the case. It's the way it is. Everybody seems to be, well, I shouldn't say everybody. There's a lot of people who are really solid that they're doing things for themselves only. So I guess that's all right. It's pretty lonely world though, standing around by yourself.
I don't need to worry about my YouTube equipment getting stolen because I do everything on my Samsung phone,
Right. Yeah.
editing,
I do
filming,
everything on
the
my
whole lot.
I think I think this is my if you're talking about non-camera, like if you're talking about like phone cameras, this is
Yeah,
probably the most expensive other than phone camera I have, and it's like a 7. I
yeah, yeah,
don't
yeah,
even use it, man. It's terrible. The iPhone 10 works just fine. It works great.
yeah.
So
No, I'm very happy with what I can do on the phone. But I was saying to you earlier that with me, I can't get a lot of the apps aren't available here in Latvia. I can't get the lap tracker app for doing my timing,
yes,
and I can't get the what's it called, StreamYard for doing live stream. It's not available
streamer.
in Latvia. So much stuff not available here.
Wow, hey, that's amazing because these are programs that these creators want everyone to be able to use. That's why they're free, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, lap tracker is free. I can get lap tracks, which is a different app. But I've heard Lap Tracker is better, but I literally cannot download it. Now, people would say, Harry, get a VPN. And I'm going to say, guys, I'm a complete dinosaur.
Oh
And
no,
I probably
yeah.
would, I
You
wouldn't
know
have to
what,
get a
Harry?
VPN.
I'll find you a VPN and I'll let you know. Usually they're free, and
Yeah, but what happens with me being a dinosaur is when the laptop says to me, "Are you sure you want to change this? Yes or no?" I always
oh,
say,
you panic? I do
"No."
that too, man. I do that too. Where's the button? Can I undo this? I immediately start looking around to see if there's an actual undo button somewhere on the screen, usually in the top left corner, right? Is
Yeah.
there can I instantly undo this if I do this? Man.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I just refuse all of these things if I do have a chance of getting them. So I'd love to know how to do a VPN because then I could watch English TV over here as well. I could watch
Oh,
English TV for free, but
okay, good. I'm glad. I thought Pete just told me this and that was it. So I'm glad he's told somebody else. All right. So that is the case. He when his laptop got stolen, he told me he reordered it and whoever delivered it, he ended up with a box of cat food. And he was, as you
ah,
can imagine, right PO'd at the end of his day. Literally, he was at the end of his
yeah,
day, so it was already really late because it was late here, and I know he's way ahead of me time
yeah,
wise. So he was, you know, and how terrible is that though? For real, like, what kind of like ball balls balls? It's ballsy, right? So, but I'm glad they squared it up and made it, and of course they should, with especially with eBay's policy or Amazon's policy. You know what I mean? So it's just shitty luck that it always seems to be you that's the one that
but
gets
it
screwed up
happens.
stuff.
It happens with this. I'm sure that was just a mistake by the Amazon or whoever it was when they sent it out. I mean, I ordered a part for one of my motorcycles and I got a plastic frisbee instead.
I ordered a slot car, got Audi front grill that was $750. I got a boat motor when we phoned them and said or sent them a message and was like, "Hey, this doesn't look like a slot car to me. It's literally the front grill of like the newest Audi that somebody was purchasing, and I have it. I could literally wear it around my neck like a wrapper on a chain." Um, and then when we phoned them and said, "Hey, this is not our slot car," they were like, "Okay." A week later, a part of a boat motor shows up, a secondhand boat motor. Uh, like what, dude? The slot car never showed up, man. But now I got this
That's
grill.
crazy. Yeah,
We got the first thing we got. before even the boat stuff, we got 2 water bottles, and this is how we knew things were getting all screwed up. They were already
Yeah.
dirty and used, and the company tried to send them out without looking at them from the last person that returned them, obviously, because they were all
Wow.
moldy and all everywhere. But keep it in mind,
Yeah.
we didn't even order water bottles. I ordered a slot car,
Yeah. And some guy who ordered a water bottle maybe got a slot car, or second-hand part for his boat got a
right?
slot car.
And what about the poor sucker who's looking for a grill for his car?
Yeah.
He's looking at my
Urgently,
slot car
urgently
going,
need.
"What the fruity McDuty?" That doesn't work.
Yeah. It's always interesting ordering online. I loved the old days when I lived in Ireland, and you could go into we had a model shop in Dublin City, and you could walk in and buy a slot car. You could look at it, you could feel it, you could take it out of the box, and
Oh yeah,
you paid your money, and you walked out the door with the car in a bag. And that's what I love. I'd love to do that, but everything now is online.
right.
I'd love a shop that actually physically sells slot cars. Now I know you have a lot of shops in the States, and I think have you some in Canada as well, or is it
Uh,
all online?
I have one, but it's an RC shop, like for RC
Ah,
cars. They have a
yeah,
small slot car selection, but that is not what they do. Like even their
yeah,
tracks are nowhere near the cars. The cars are on a pegboard behind a glass cabinet, and on
all
top
right,
of that glass cabinet is like a stand that they put stuff on. It's in the way of the slot cars, so you can't even see the slot cars.
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, RC is the big business now. RC cars.
these. Sorry, Harry.
RC cars is very big business now.
Oh yes, and they sell
Yeah.
these really expensive like tanks and construction equipment, like true to life construction equipment. I don't know if you ever see those videos where there's big conventions and they're backing up their semis with their I'm
Yeah,
sure
I've
we've
seen
all
them.
seen them. We're all guys, we're
Yeah,
all like, "Oh, that's cool," whether we watched 5 minutes of it
yeah,
or 2 minutes of it. We all watched it. You know you did.
yeah.
Cool as hell, right? So yeah, it's terrible. Did you sell the Audi grill? Babe, what did we do with the Audi grill? Yeah, the out. Oh, we still have the Audi grill. Yeah, where is it? Can you pull it out? It's what? Oh, okay. All right. It's tucked away in storage. But we still do have it, which is I don't know what we're gonna do with it. Does anybody want to give me an offer on an Audi grill?
If it was small enough, you could be like the Beastie Boys and hang it around your neck like they used to do with the
Right?
Volkswagen symbols.
That's what I was thinking
Do you
about.
remember that?
Hey, we could
Do you
do
remember
that.
that? And everybody had their Volkswagen badges being nicked off their Beetles.
Or for
Terrible.
us, it was the Mercedes cars, the Mercedes emblem.
Oh yeah, also those. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, here, look at this. Yeah, put it on your Honda. Just mount it on the front. That would be hilarious. Oh well, that's something I could
Yeah.
do.
Well, I think was that Cheech and Chong movie where they had a Rolls Royce radiator mounted on their car or something. I could be wrong.
Oh
I
yeah,
vaguely remember. So I
it
remember some
was
comedy film, and I think it was the Rolls Royce grill just welded onto the front of the car.
Volkswagen Bug, wasn't it? I remember what you're talking
Might have
about.
been.
I think Cheech and
Might
Chong
have been.
are coming up with another movie, coming out with another movie right away.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Up in Smoke was a classic. So funny.
yeah. Awesome, right?
Brilliant. Yeah.
They're all
Great
good.
stuff.
Well, they started getting a little lame at the end, but the
Well,
first
no,
few.
I just watched the first one. Now there's people talking about a slot car they should produce. What about an up and smoke? They could do the van and they could do the lowrider as well. Do
Oh yeah.
you think Sky Electrics would do that? A picture of a cannabis leaf on the box.
Oh man, a green truck. Maybe put Cheech and Chong in it.
Yeah, that'd be great. Set of drums in the back on the seat, it'd be great.
You should see the hobby shops near me. Hundreds of Pioneer cars on the shelf, as they are the main distributors. Ho ho!
I'd love
That,
that.
that would be cool. Hey, to be able to go in there. See, my RC hobby shop, the only large scale they sell is uh, Skill Electric. Well, they have a little bit of SCX Advance, but they're trying to get rid of that. But Skill Electric is the only cars they carry. Oh.
Well, I still think the Pioneer Legend cars, I still think it's one of my favorite cars out of all the cars I've bought. Even my BRMs, I absolutely love the Pioneer Legends cars.
Yeah, they. That's really. You have one of those handy, do you not?
Yeah, just showed it a second ago. Yeah, that one here.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
really nice racing car.
No, I bought three of them at the Black Friday sale last year, and from Slotcar Union in France. And I mean, that's my logo is from the Pioneer Legends cars. That's where I got the whole idea for the logo.
Yeah, looks
You
good
know,
too.
so
Uh,
absolutely, love them.
I'm in Manitoba. Manitoba, right in the middle of Canada. Actually, the middle of Canada marker is not very far from where I live. It has to have a slot. Yeah. Thanks, Charles. Welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, I think that is easily, I believe we could all agree on that, and probably should all agree on that when you think about it. That is definitely the basics of a slot car track, or a slot car is the track. It's got to be routed, and the car has to go in said groove. I think that is the basics. But that pretty much sums it up. I mean, you know, at least we're all on the same page what it means, what slot car means. That's because we're all interested in it, right? The average person may not know or care, but we do. What's going on with the camera here?
Hey,
Jesus.
thanks, no drama. If any guys want a sticker, just contact me on my Facebook page or something, and send me your address, and I'll send you a couple of my channel stickers. No problem.
Yeah, there you go. It's a sticker exchange.
Absolutely, I love stickers, and any stickers I get, I'll put on the window in my slot car garage. So
Oh yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
or on
That.
my van. I have my van that I have stickers on as well. So I'm going to put a few on my van.
What are you looking for? Butterfly clip. Butterfly clip. Oh, there we go.
Will
I'm
you be
on
having a race
Vancouver
with
Island.
Irene at the weekend?
Sorry.
Will you be having a race with Irene at the weekend?
Probably this coming weekend. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. We're
Cool.
because the scenery should be done on a large scale now. That's sort of what stops me. When I'm heavily into construction, I guess you could say, it sort of turns me off
I
from
know.
racing because I like the look,
Yeah.
the whole look of and feel of the race. So it's sort of
Yeah.
all.
And I mean, there's nothing worse than when you're doing scenery and you have tools and buckets of
Yeah,
plaster all over the track
right.
and everything. Yeah.
And I like to clean it. I don't want to just half-ass it. I want to clean it nice, right? And you can't
Yeah,
really
you
do
want to have it
that.
right before you do a video. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, Bryce. Actually, I lived in BC for 6 years. My brother still lives there. He lives in the interior at 100 Mile House. He's got 80 acres of property there and stuff. So visit him all the time. Yeah, you see, that's the way it will be because overpriced skill electric, because they know that this is what they have, and it's a take it or leave it scenario. Yeah, right. So it would be nice if we all had the option to walk into our local hobby store, and purchase, or even be able to touch, like Harry was saying, pick up the car, feel it, because when you pick up a Skillectric and you pick up like even a Carrera, for instance, there's a different feel to how the car feels when it's out of the package. Like you could be blindfolded, and I think you could probably decipher between the quality. The builds feel different to me. I think that's what sort of steers me away from one and more towards the other. But that's just me. Everyone has their own preferences. And also, like I said, you know, um, I can't put my fingers in all the baskets. As you can, only do so much. So I'm doing a pretty good job of doing lots of it. Speaking of all scale slot cars, all scale slot cars is in the house. Thanks for joining us,
Yeah.
brother. I appreciate it. Awesome. So yeah, um, you know, what's this here? Good news is that you find odd used Christmas gifts for less. Well, and the price is, yeah, that's the way to go for sure. Always looking for good deals. No question about it. Always on the take. Especially in our hobby, you're always looking for what you want, and something that catches your eye, it seems, is always nearby.
Well,
All right.
I think it's great finding second-hand cars for sale. I mean, I'm sure you saw Pete's take it at the UK Slot Fest where Rahul and all went.
Yeah.
If I was there, if I was there, I'd go crazy. I'd just buy tons of second-hand cars for about €20 each. I'd go mad.
Right? And just all the choices of even new cars that would certainly be there. Oh
Yeah,
my
but
god.
all the stuff, like I was looking at Pete's video and I was looking and I seen the yellow minis that I would have bought like 30 years ago, and just for the nostalgia, I would have bought loads of these cars, the Escort XR3i Scale Electrics and the
Yeah,
old minis, and fantastic.
right. Yeah, Facebook Marketplace has some good deals. Some good deals. It's more iffy. I just for myself I prefer to buy my slot cars new. Not that there's anything wrong with buying used slot cars, but all of mine were bought new. That way, you know what's happened to it. You know what you've done to it. You know it's been taken care of or abused. You know, so it's
Well, I
kind
mean,
of
all mine are new as well. I only ever bought one set on Facebook Marketplace because nobody here in Latvia has them for sale. But
right.
a Carrera Evolution set came up, and I couldn't resist. It was €50. It looks like someone bought it for their kids for Christmas, and the kids used it for a few weeks, and that was it. It was put
That
away.
was it.
So it, I've only seen one ad, so of course straight away I bought it, got it sent to me, and everything was perfect. It was good. So
Nice.
yeah, you don't get slot cars here for sale anywhere. No shops, no Facebook Marketplace, nothing.
It's just not a thing, hey?
Yeah, I mean, there's always the worry that if I croaker, I don't know how the missus is going to get rid of all my slot cars because there
Right.
ain't no market here for them, that's for sure.
Well, you see, Harry, I know the feeling because, like I said, no Carrera here. Everything that I have on my Carrera side of slot cars has been bought off the internet.
Yeah,
Like my
yeah,
HO, like I said, my HO, I probably bought 10, maybe 10 cars from my local store. Otherwise, all my HO stuff is from the internet as well. Here in Canada, in our city we used to have 5 hobby stores, and now there's one. and that's the Eliminator RC where there's more. There's
Yeah.
it's 95% RC, like
RC
three
cars. Yeah.
percent 3% slot cars, and
Yeah.
2% rockets because they have model rockets there and model kits too. So I
Yeah.
was looking to do 125 because I'm thinking maybe do a build at some point, but I want to build the model too as much. So
Yeah. I haven't built the kit yet, but I definitely want to buy some white kits in the future and build a few white kits.
oh yeah, see, here's backyard CNC. All my slots, both career and electric, analog and digital, were found locally, used. That's awesome.
Excellent. Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. And I know Harry's jealous, and I'm jealous too because I may not be in Latvia, but sometimes it certainly feels like I am. And that's not just me; that's a Canadian slot car person. It's the same thing. I think when we talk about the stuff that we go through to get our cars, it's fairly similar when it comes down to customs dealings, and what you're allowed though is a little different than what we're allowed here. So, but it works out good, Harry. That's what kids do these days.
Yeah.
Play for an hour, then put the box away. Yeah,
Yeah, Robert, absolutely. Yeah, and that's where you get the bargains. Then the parents, after a few months, say, "Ah, we might as well sell that. The kids didn't use it."
right.
So that's where you get the bargains.
There we go. I bought my first new car this year. Slotted R8. Nice. Very nice. I got Electric Back to the Future Night Rider set off Facebook for $30. Oh, they thought it was broken. Oh, nice. Oh, that's a score, man. Only because I grew up watching Knight Rider, So yeah, man, that's the only reason why I want that car. And who the hell doesn't want that Back to the Future car? Come on now. Oh, you don't, Harry. No movie cars.
I'd buy a Mad Max car if they had some of the cars from the original Mad Max film. I'd definitely buy them.
Oh, the Ford Falcon.
Yeah, yeah, the Interceptor car, absolutely. Mad Max was one of my all-time favorite films, but for me, it was more the bikers because I was driving a Kawasaki Z900, which with the same type of bike as they use in the film. They used the 1000Z, so I could relate to the bikers because at that stage I was hanging out with a load of bikes and I was driving the same motorcycle. So you know,
Right.
but it was a great film. I loved it, and I know Shane from Hughes Garage. He's big into his Mad Max stuff as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, here's this is the hog Harry keeps talking about. Let's see. No, wrong one. Do I have that somewhere? Dun 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 dun. Yeah, that. Oh, what was I gonna say? It's gotta be. I'll find it later. Let's see. Comments. Backyard CNC. Dan, we have to get together and visit one day. Wow, where do you live, backyard? Oh, yeah, in Scotland, it's like if stuff arrives here, it's because the delivery driver got lost. That's awesome. Yeah, more kids are coming to the hobby year, but I would have to say they're coming to the larger scale hobbies. When I first started doing HO, I was fairly certain that HO was growing, and just from Auto World, what's happening, that absolutely makes makes for terrible growth. I'm sure you can understand when you take one of the major dealers out of the scenario, at least for a while. It doesn't do the industry any good when there's only one player in the game. So
I've been listening to this auto world drama that's going on lately. So,
yes,
do you think they're going to keep going, or do you think they
yes.
might be closing?
No, they're going to keep going, and that's what me and Robert will be talking about on one of the issues on the fish tank coming up in the next day or two. Um, Auto World is in a place right now where they're having to make a very interesting decision. They're supposed to be working on fixing a chassis. It's been speculated that Auto World might be putting a CAN motor in their cars. Currently, right
Okay.
now, Auto World has that motor. Either of the motors, whatever one you want to look at, we counted the parts that it takes to make that motor run, and these are all hand built. All of them. They're not. You cannot make these with a machine. They're all hand built. So some people are probably left sitting with a tray of slot cars in front of them and have some crazy quota to build chassis. But what we think is happening is, in order for Auto World to make a bigger profit, they need to nix out 9 parts. If you follow Elon Musk, SpaceX, or Tesla, you know Elon always says the best part is no part. So the least amount of moving parts you have, the better off you are. Being a space guy, you
Yeah.
can understand why he says that. Now, you're thinking, well, how does that relate to slot cars? Well, that's a good question. Let me show you guys super quickly. And I hope you guys all checked out the video for the Bad Man. Sure is a good video. But here's a good example of what I'm talking about. Okay, you see all of these moving parts in here, right? Okay, here's a look at the bottom. Look at all those parts. Okay, count them. These parts right here. These are all separate parts. Okay, so there's like 9 parts to make the motor move on an Auto World car. Okay.
So it's like overly complicated.
Right. And
Mm.
one, I don't know why it keeps doing this. Oh, now you can't even see it at all. Okay, there. The CAN motor, we think, is going to end up in the Auto World car. Just from production standpoint alone, look at all the parts there. 2 shoes, 2 springs, 2 commentator plates right there, 1 and 2. There's 2 um, uh, oh, it's escaping me. 2 brushes. 2 brushes. Is someone keeping track? And then when you get to the top, you have this gear. You have the gear that's underneath the strap, and you have a gear at the back. Okay. It feels like we're already over easily 10 parts just to make the Auto World car move. I haven't even talked about the rear axle or the gear on the rear axle or the pinion. So that's another 3 parts to make that car work. This car right here, one part, which is the CAN motor, and of course the pinion and the rear gear. Now, from a building standpoint, it's absolutely expensive and very, very labor intensive to build this motor.
You could
Very.
imagine. Yeah.
And the only way to do it is by hand. So you can see where this becomes a problem real fast. Um, it's really not doable in our market today. It is.
Where are they assembled then?
Sorry.
Where are they assembled?
Oh, they're assembled in China.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, although we're probably getting the lowest labor cost possible,
Mm.
when you have stuff built overseas, well, in order, I did a whole video on what it costs to send a C can from USA to China. It costs about $5,000 to $8,000. Now to ship that same sea can from Japan, or sorry, China, they're two different places. China to the United States on the eastern seaboard, western seaboard, it costs 20 grand, 21 grand.
Wow. Yeah.
So that cost immediately gets dumped onto the cost of our slot cars, HO
Of
wise,
course. Yeah.
anyways.
Yeah.
You know,
A percentage of all that has to go onto the car. Yeah.
that's absolutely correct because they can't just absorb it all themselves, right? That would be ridiculous. Since your nature,
But of course, they still assemble them in China because they're getting the, what would you call them, the sweatshops, I suppose, are assembling them.
well, right? And how many people, I wonder, because what I envision is people sitting at a table with little trays in front of them with, you know, each tray has
Yeah.
one part in it, and they have a quota. Certainly, they have a quota, and you got to build 100 slot car chassis in a day. But I envision there being like 20
Yeah.
people doing this, so they're making
Yeah.
thousands of chassis a day. So
Yeah.
it's just,
Wow.
it's really, really like it's very interesting, and I have no idea how large scale cars are made. Nobody's actually seen the insides of the HO plants with cars being made.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how these plants work.
Yeah, right. Because I'm sure we would all like to know, like, what's the process?
Yeah, it'd be very interesting for any type of slot cars to get a visit to the factory. I know, like Scale Electrics now are assembled in China as well now, so
Oh,
you'd like to know how it's all done and have a look inside and see how good or bad the whole thing
that's
is.
right. Yeah, yeah. Backyard CNC. We're actually just talking about Paul Gage and how he lives. Well, if you live in Saint Patel, you live where he lives. So Paul Gage lives in your area. I don't know if you know that, but yeah, that's kind of cool. Certainly we'll chit chat. No problems there, brother. Always looking for a good race. You know what I mean? Awesome. If you just want to send me an email, you can find my email on my cover page at YouTube. No problemos. Oh boy, yeah. See, another subject me and Robert will be covering on the fish tank. The new magnet legislation for slot cars. Oh my gosh. If you think the pod tide challenge was ridiculous, you're not going to want to miss this one. That's all I got to say. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I heard there's some craziness going on about magnets and
You know how crazy it is?
dangerous magnets,
Right.
dangerous
Let
magnets.
me tell you how crazy it is. It's like trying to open a can of tuna with your forehead. That kind of crazy. So
Oh no.
it certainly makes for good entertainment. And oh, me and Robert, we had a good. Well, we must have talked about 3 hours one day just about all this craziness. There's a whole list of stuff. We're gonna talk about the list. It's an official list. It was sent to me by one of the retailers, and he was just literally laughing that even such a thing needs to be made. If any of you guys are wondering what we're talking about right now, it's there's something going on right now in the HO world where Auto World is not allowed to sell deluxe pit kits with the magnets in them. Well, they just can't sell them anymore, and it's a magnet thing. Some some half brain thought it was a good idea to swallow the magnets. Sounds a lot like tide the Tide Pod challenge or what. I don't even know. I prefer my chicken crispy. You know what I mean? Like, uh, uh, Tide.
But you know, Dan, there's. I wonder if that's a comparison. But some of the, I don't know if it's Polycar. I could be wrong. There's a Formula One car, and you don't get it with a magnet. You get it with a little clip for holding the front wing on, and you have to order the magnet separate. It doesn't
Yeah.
get posted with a magnet. And again, it's probably some silliness that somebody's kid somewhere thought it was a sweet or something, swallowed them. I don't know. I'm just guessing, but
Oh no, you know what, Harry? You're probably right, brother. Um,
yeah,
because that's what it would take. And then the magnets, in order for them to satisfy the restrictions, because that these are government restrictions. It's not like
yeah,
someone said Auto World shouldn't do that anymore. It's literally they've legislated a policy and legislation in the United States that says you can no longer sell them this way, which is
yeah,
crazy when you think about it. Crazy.
yeah. For toy
Oh
cars,
gosh,
It's,
all the front tire pit, all the pit kits, everything.
I see. Joe's back in the chat. He had to go away for some quality time with Jen, but he said he's back now.
Yeah. Ah. Uh yeah, Paul Gage is definitely in he lives in Saint Vital, yeah. I remember one time Raul told me, "Oh, yeah, I think he's Canadian. He lives in Vancouver or something, I think." And then I so Irene says to me, "Where did you say Paul Gage lives?" I'm like, "Yeah, he lives in Vancouver." See, he lives in Canada. Isn't that cool? I said. She's like, "No, he lives in Saint Vital." I'm like, "No, no, no, he lives in Vancouver." She's like, "Well, I don't know. The envelope says Saint Vital here." Oh, so yeah, there you go.
I see Anthony saying something interesting about the magnets. If you can see it there, Dan.
Um. Oh yeah, perforated intestines. And see what he's talking about is when they're going through the tract. The magnets, one magnet could be in the part of the tract over here, and then another one could have already went through. Okay, now because our
Oh, and
intestines
they
wind,
stick. Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
because they wind
hmm
together. What happens is they're
yeah,
sticking two walls of the intestine together like that now, and it just rubs until it puts a hole through, perforated. Yeah,
yeah. That's
it's
not
so
good.
so
Yeah.
ridiculous, so ridiculous. It's motor magnets. I got piles of them. I probably got one sitting here somewhere. This is how. Oh yeah, like right. This is motor magnets. Here, see, right there. There you go.
Mhm.
Right. You guys ready? Are you guys ready? Here we go. Five, four, three, two, one. Man, they taste good.
You missed.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Good thing my aim is worse than my brain power. But really, like, who's gonna swallow that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Don't put, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
kids of all ages, don't put that in your mouth.
Yeah, I suppose it comes down to the fact that it's kids, and a lot of these toys, other toys, are banned over the years. If they discover that a kid could pull a little plastic wheel off a plastic car and stick it in their mouths, they couldn't sell them anymore. And I've seen so many things banned now. Did you remember years ago we'd all the plastic toys with the lead paint on them and everything
Yeah,
from China and everything,
China,
all
yeah.
that stuff?
Yeah, here's a good point here. The earliest memories of my parents warning me not to swallow chewing gum.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, yeah.
No, yeah. Oh my gosh, the things we worried about back then, right? Robert Paulson, thanks for joining us, Robert. Yeah, if there's one thing I learned from watching Transformers as a kid, it's that magnets taste delicious. Oh my god. Yeah, they're like miniature candies. I'll be sending them out. Oh my gosh, hey? Like seriously, seriously. That didn't happen by accident. Explain to me how that would happen by accident.
Somebody there to the young. Come on, eat your magnets. Behave yourself.
Yeah, right? I dare you, man. I dare you. Here, swish it down with this tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah, I prefer my tequila with worms in it, but thanks. Yeah. Now you guess you can get a worm and scorpion. Is the music still even on? I feel like you guys have been ripped off. You probably didn't get to hear the.
I don't think you played hardly any music this evening, Dan.
Oh, it is in the background though. I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard any music at all.
Oh, there it is.
Then again, I'm half deaf, so. Oh, there's music now.
Someone said, "Oh, the music was too loud. I couldn't even hear what was going on." I'm trying to listen. I'm like, "Babe, be quiet. I can't hear if there's music playing in the background."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, nice chilled. This one's called "Time Slips By." I really enjoy this one. I think it's got a good beat. I'll shut up for a second. Sounds really laid back. Okay, so we got our background music, and this is inspired by Anthony. Just throwing it out there. I like how Anthony gets his video going, puts on some music, and then
Yeah,
starts.
some good stuff.
Fantastic,
And
brother. Stick with
Anthony, you're right. It's not funny. You know what I mean? And it's terrible that the kids do this. And I remember when my kids got to a certain age, and you were terrified to let them do anything because they were pulling wheels off the toy cars. They were, they were grabbing things from the kettle and all of us. It's crazy, but you can only protect them to a certain degree, and if they're going to do stuff, they're probably going to do it. It's
Right.
you can't watch them all the time.
Well, you hope that you can instill at least a little bit, but once again, that's they'll do what they'll do. Peer pressure is pretty hardcore when you think about it. I mean, we could all certainly remember a time in high school or whenever where, we probably wouldn't have done something that we certainly did and certainly should not have.
Well, do you know what I done? Do you know what I done when I was young?
That's a whole
my
nother
dad
channel.
left. My dad left a plug with a cable sticking out that he cut off a radio, and I plugged the plug in and grabbed the end of the cable.
Oh, no.
Yeah, as a kid, I didn't know. I hadn't a clue what I was doing, but it threw me across the room, and I realised after that don't grab cables that are plugged into the wall.
There you go.
Yeah,
Never been zapped like reaching around to unplug an AFX power transformer from the wall and touching the prongs with your fingers.
Oh yeah, yeah. And now they have this. They're half plastic, and only the tip is the metal. This to try and stop you from putting your fingers around the plug and getting a bang from the electricity. Yeah.
See, they must have had lots of people do that. Lots.
Yeah, absolutely, to reinvent these plugs. Hi, Paul. Catch you later. Paul's heading off 2021. Heading off.
Oh, yes. Yeah. There it is. Take care. Yeah. What do we got here? Part of the problem with these days is they've tried to protect them from everything. Now they don't have common sense. That's a very good point, Robert. Sounds like it's probably the case. I remember a recall for a toy called Aqua Dots. Apparently, if you ate the beads inside, your body would metabolize the plastic into GHB. Oh my gosh. Whew. Well, don't want to do that. All right, guys. Well, we're at the end of hour number 2. Absolutely fantastic conversation. Before you guys head out, make sure that if you haven't subscribed to Harry, please do so. All right. Harry's right now. He's around 8:15. Hopefully by the time we get off, he'll be more like 8, 16, 17, maybe even 18, 19, or 20. But the content that Harry puts out is absolutely fantastic. He's got that kind of personality that just draws you to him. It's fantastic stuff. He does a really good how-to. The how-to videos are spot on, and it's the kind of videos that really make you want to watch. And you could just tell by the amount of people that have been viewing his stuff lately. So remember to tell everyone about Harry. Let him know that he's out there. I mean, I would assume just about everyone in the slot community has heard of him now. So it should
And
be
guys,
very.
I'm 20 miles from the Russian border, so if anything happens, I'll give you the head up, and I probably have some very interesting videos to share.
There you go. So in the next video, Harry's going to be showing us his combat gear. Oh, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, a video of a T-34 tank passing the window. I say,
Right?
oh look,
And it's like this, Harry. No, 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 no. I'm just kidding. Harry hasn't been using it to buy combat equipment. He's been using it. He's been using his combat equipment to buy slot cars. So when
yeah,
the
that's more
so
like
when the Russians show up at his door, it's on 4-on-4, baby,
it.
slot car racing.
Yeah,
To be on the safe side, guys. It's
yeah, yeah.
it's
I really
pretty.
appreciate anybody who gave me a sub tonight as well. Thanks, Dan, for giving me the shout out for that.
Yeah, for sure, brother. And anytime you'd like to join us, for sure, you're more than welcome. That's I have this perfect little podium that I've had now for almost 3 years, and I've been doing my best to get the best of slot car creators out there. So if there's anybody in the comment section that has a channel and would like to join us, whether it be as a co-host or as a guest, send me an email. My email is at the beginning of my YouTube channel page. So for me, I'd like to say thank you to Harry for joining me as a co-host tonight. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
I
Dan.
definitely appreciate it. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight on another episode of Monday Night Slotcar Live. Harry, close it off. Final words, brother.
Okay, thanks everyone for being here tonight, and I hope our little chat was interesting enough. And I would definitely like to do it again sometime, Dan. So anytime you want me to come on, just give me a shout, and I'll be there.
Absolutely, brother. Maybe as you get a little closer to finishing your layout, we'll have another layout chat because I should be a little further along as well too. So
Yeah.
and keep an eye out for those pit garages. Oh yes, and one last time, guys, the last episode of the fish tank. All the answers to the HO questions you'll be asking, me and Robert will be going over. From all of us here at Slot Valley Racing, don't forget, get your heart racing. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.